This is Fred. The Fazbears are coming.
The Fazbears. This is Storm Fred. Freddy Fazbear.
Fred. Hurricane's coming up the coast. It's marching up 107.
Hurricane Freddy Fazbear's coming over the coast. Ah.
That we're able to scan the atmosphere. It's almost like an x-ray. We're taking an x-ray of these storms and we're able to see fine, minute details of these storms. So what I'm looking at right now is what's called the correlation coefficient. It's a measure of the uniformity of raindrops or any other sort of biological data or even debris that could be lofted into the atmosphere. At the moment, I'm just seeing pretty uniform raindrops falling from the clouds and hitting the sky. Hitting the ground rather. Earlier in Webster in Thompson, Connecticut, we actually had what's called a tornado debris signature. And it's an area of bright blue that would show up. And that would tell me that debris, potentially sticks, leaves, potentially people's homes, being lofted into the atmosphere. And so I do not see that. That's the good news with this system. I still see some really strong winds. I don't see any really intense signatures of a tornado tightening up, for instance. But as Terry Eliason mentioned in his tweets, and as you alluded to, Paula, we have to take these very seriously because they can spin up really quickly in one or two scans of our radar and then just as quickly kind of die down a little bit. So that's why we've been on sort of edge all morning into the early afternoon, watching these storms very intently for the event that these do start to rotate. It's something, if you tuned into us at WBZ at noon, I talked about the potential. I said that these storms had what's called a tag to them. The National Weather Service indicating that there was the potential for the tornado, and they finally did pull the trigger on that tornado warning. Again, this is in effect for Essex, Middlesex, and into Suffolk County until 1:45 this afternoon. The area of biggest concern, we'll zoom in and show you at the moment, starting to lose a little tightening, which is a good thing. We don't want to talk about a confirmed tornado. We want to talk about this dissipating a little bit. But if there were to be any sort of storm, it would be along this 107 stretch as you go up towards Peabody and also towards Marblehead, right towards 126 towards Beverly. But at the moment, I'm actually seeing this kind of lose some of those characteristics, which again is a very good thing. We do not want to be talking about.
Well, Peabody is Salem.
In Thompson, I've seen some pretty incredible video on social media of some power lines down. Certainly a wrecked scene in parts of Thompson. We're not likely going to see that here if this continues on the same track at which it was doing. So I'm going to rewind a little bit and see. Notice I'm going to circle this area right here. That's the area that the National Weather Service was most concerned about. And as we trace this back a little bit, over Chelsea, Route 1A a little earlier, staying a little tight as you go towards Lynn, but starting to lose that characteristic in the latest scan. So again, wouldn't surprise me if we start to see the National Weather Service drop, or at least kind of draw back this warning as we go into this afternoon. Right now at 1:10, we've been on the air for the last 15 minutes or so tracking this storm. And at the moment, still in effect for parts of Lynn. I'm going to draw an area that if we were to see a storm, it would be passing into your area by Swampscott in the next couple of minutes. Marblehead, again, within the next 5 minutes or so. I still want you to respect the polygon. There is a tornado warning out. I still want you to be in your tornado safe place. If you're tuning in, though, in Melrose, in Malden, in Chelsea, in Revere, that is where you can actually come out of your tornado safe place. That is, the threat has simply passed for you. Let's just recap everything here. We do still have that tornado warning in effect until 1:45. In addition, flash flooding is occurring in Essex and Middlesex counties through the Merrimack Valley, Cape Ann. We saw that through Worcester County. This is now extended out to the east, Boston, to the North Shore.
I'm probably going to predict that's a yeah. The streets that I was recording was flooded.
Tornado warnings. It is a good idea to get kids, go to the basement. be underground, be in a safe place, because as quickly as these pop up and they might dissipate, these are the remnants of that major storm, right? This is nothing to hesitate to do.
You're exactly right, yes. So as long as that tornado warning is in effect, I want you to be in your tornado safe place. Peabody, Marblehead, starting to see a little bit of indication of that rotation showing up there near Peabody. Let me zoom in and show you here up towards 127, moving towards Beverly, and this would eventually go towards 128, the 128 loop towards Cape Ann is where we would see this passing through. So I'll put on a timing of this.
Of course, we're on
As we go into time towards Beverly in the next 3 minutes or so, Centerville by 117, and then eventually up towards Route 22 as we go later into this afternoon. So this tornado warning is in effect until 1:45. I expect the National Weather Service to continue to, and they are trimming back the warning as the threat passes. So that is the good news, that they're trimming back. So you'll likely see, if you're following along on the WBZ app, you're probably seeing that radar updating in real time, and you're also seeing the warnings updating in real time. So if your town is no longer in the warning, you can come out of that tornado safe place. But the area we're watching closest at the moment, Peabody along 127 and 107, moving closer to Beverly, Route 1A. If you're traveling along Route 1A, I want you to stop at a
Should I warn
business,
Mason?
let them know what's happening, and hopefully you can take shelter along with them. We'll flip over to our radar product, and we can see still what we look for is sort of a little notch there. And still noting a little bit of that notch in this. So this is where that tornado would likely be if it were confirmed. At the moment, it is a radar indicated tornado. And like I
see what I mean?
Earlier, Paula, this is like
I don't know anymore.
Scan that you would go to the doctor. We are scanning the atmosphere 24/7. And if we see something that sort of catches our eye, we're diving deeper into this, and we're able to see the rotation of this storm. Radar winds going towards the radar winds going away, and so that is where we would likely see sort of that spin up near Peabody, near 127, near 1A. It looks like, if I can zoom in here, we can see Essex Street, Salem. You would be right in the mix of this, so I want you to be in that tornado safe place. Paula?
It's important